This is part 2 of the Swarm invaded and taught me influence works in 3 directions, not just one. I really like the take this pastor had on the last video. It gave me a lot to think about. Let's see what part 2 is.
My last video was about NeuroSama, and I kind of expected a few loyal viewers, maybe some tech enthusiasts, an AI debate or two, but instead, I got invaded by the Swarm.
So far that hasn't really happened on the channel, but there are a few of you. Now, my channel, while it did have over 100, or it had like 75 followers or something like that, it was originally a different channel, so there's a good chance that, from what I understand, from what people have been telling me, is the algorithm is pushing out the Swarm videos that I'm making, or the Neuro videos that I'm making to the wrong audience, so it's a much slower uptick. Either way, this creator deserves all the additional views and subscribers they got in the last week.
And they had a lot to say. Now, I've done 4 episodes of this series so far, but this is going to be episode 4.5, and that's for a couple of reasons. First is that there are still some things we can learn from the NeuroSama phenomenon. And second is a thank you to those who pushed me not only over 1,000 subscribers, but helped me become a YouTube partner.
That means they got 1,000 subscribers, and I think I was told you have to hit 4,000 hours watched. And based off of the fact that they have 40,000 views on the first video, yeah, I'm pretty sure they hit that 4,000.
Partner. That's been a dream of mine for a long time. No, this isn't going to become a NeuroSama Swarm glazing channel. My videos are about discussing social media and creator culture from what I hope is a unique perspective, but I want to talk about what happened. I dropped the video, walked away, and it wasn't long before the flood of notifications started, and there was a phrase that...
I could see that happening a lot. I looked at a lot of the comments from some of the other videos, and there's like hundreds of them, and it's a lot, it's something along the lines of dropping the beacon or something like that. I have a few of those on my channel as well, and it's very nice of the Swarm to entertain just listening to me.
Kept popping up. It wasn't long before I realized that NeuroSama's Swarm doesn't just watch videos or content creators, they assimilate them into the collective like the Borg from Star Trek.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will...
I love Star Trek. Something that I thought I was gonna hate the newer Academy version, and maybe that was just me hoping for, like, you know, the old time, the original stuff I grew up with. But no, it's pretty dang awesome. I love it.
Add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
First, they dropped the beacon. Then more came and were answering the beacon's call. And then, as the Swarm swarmed, the real comments about my video started, and they were passionate. Some wanted to share why they liked the video, others about how much NeuroSama meant to them, others...
Yeah, see, that's what I'm interested in. I'm somewhat interested in the technology. I'm more interested in the stories about what everyone sees in the Swarm versus just the technology of something interesting when it comes to AI. There are plenty of other channels that will deep dive into the absolute nitty-gritty of the AI.
Expanded on or corrected what I said, but here's the thing that stuck out to me. They were so positive. This community wasn't just passionate about their favorite creator, there was something deeper going on. And that's what I want to talk about. An audience's effect on the world. Or at least on me. The Swarm...
Well, that's the thing. Even if it's just you or just this creator that the Swarm has an effect on, that's big enough. All it takes is one person to have an effect on you that will change your life forever.
Swarm didn't treat my video like another piece of content. They treated it like a signal flare, sent up to gather the collective. Some of them said they felt homeless these days because battle's on a break, and apparently my video came at the perfect time because the Swarm was starving for neuro content, and when it dropped, the
From what I understand, though, is Neuro and Evil are still doing their streams. They're just not doing like collabs or anything right now. Is that how it's working right now? I guess there's big breaks in between when Metal is basically taking a break from everyone. And I guess sometimes he takes big breaks.
Collective sent out their ant pheromone or did the wiggle dance that bees do to tell the others there was some food on this corner of the internet. So much of what we see online is combative and negative, as algorithms encourage rage bait and argue.
It's not even just online, it's everywhere. I see it everywhere. On the street, within the church, of course, but just everywhere. And people love to argue. It's compounded by the internet. This stuff did exist back before the internet, but it was far more isolated, and people were far less likely to want to out themselves as like legitimately hateful of other people because it would affect them and their family. And now you can hide behind being anonymous on the internet. I mean, even though I'm anonymous to a degree, here talking to you just because I don't want those in my, immediate circle necessarily to know what I'm watching. And even though what we're watching right now isn't bad or anything, it's still weird to them. And that's stupid that I even have to hide myself for this, but it is what it is.
But the comments section of this video was like a red carpet, a welcome mat, and a warm blanket all in one. They welcomed me in almost the same way a church welcomes new people. Positive, kind, answering questions, just being awesome.
Maybe that's true for his church. It's not true for all churches. There have been so many problematic churches. Anyway, sorry, I'm not gonna get
and
into
that
this.
felt nice. When I first started as a content creator, I had a podcast, but I wanted to hear back from the audience I was connecting to, which led me to explore live streaming, which led me to Twitch, where I'd felt I'd found a group of people that I could understand because they were a lot like me, struggling with mental health, social disorders, loneliness, church hurt, abuse. When I started, I was trying to care for them. But I quickly realized how much power the audience had in caring for me too. Even today, when I'm having a bad day and my mind is telling me to skip stream because I feel terrible and I won't make good content, when I push through, I realized that the love and care that I needed in that moment would come from the people who joined my stream.
I've never really thought about that. If I were ever to start streaming, I don't know if I could. Like, if I could stream, it would still be more of this. I don't think I could play games. The dexterity in order to do so has long left me. But I could potentially do live videos if that's even allowable. I don't really know enough. YouTube is already a huge jump for me.
And that's the first lesson that the Swarm taught me about audiences. Is how much power they actually have. Not everyone can be a content creator. Have power. And sometimes the audience can feel a little guilty because they're just watching. They can't afford the subs for the subathon. They miss some videos. They only count for one view. So it feels like their reciprocation for the creator is too little. I want to tell you that the individuals in a community have incredible power that they might not realize.
I mean, from what I understand is even if one person is watching, that's still one person more than you had before. And while that does sound low, a lot of new channels need every little view. The big thing is if you only watch for like 10 seconds, maybe that won't affect the channel in any way. From what I understand for YouTube, it's all about watch hours. It has nothing to do necessarily with clicks, but it's mostly the total amount of time people watch. Primarily because YouTube loves to show ads in everyone's face at this point. They're kind of really forcing everyone to move over to premium.
I'm not exaggerating when I say it was 100% positive. And when there's a community like this out there spreading that kind of feeling to others, it is hard not to want to go check out the creator who is having this effect. So, lesson number 1 to the viewers.
I think that line's a little funny. It's 100% positive influence in your chat and chat comment sections from everyone in the swarm to new creators and new channels, right? And then you have Vettel, who's not exactly the world's most positive person. Well, I don't know why I find that funny.
Is that how you act in the comments section can have a huge effect that ripples right back to the content creator you're supporting. But that works both ways, right? The ants and the bees don't just spread messages about food, they also defend the colony. I would imagine that if I had created a hit piece against NeuroSama, things would have gone differently.
I can see that being a problem. I bet you there are creators who are actively critical of things that Neuro has done, and I bet you they've been bashed across just the internet just because people love something. Now, this is true for everything, so it's not really a unique thing for
Along with
Neuro.
the beacons and stories came some corrections, but they weren't the usual stuff the internet's used to. No one called me names or told me to throw myself into a wood chipper, but they did want to make sure that I got some things right.
Do people tell people to throw themselves into a wood chipper? The internet really is a hostile place, isn't it?
For example, many wanted to make sure that I knew about Evil, Neuro's identical twin sister, who has her own lore and story and distinct personality. In fact, many said that Evil was not only their favorite, but that she is way cuter than Neuro, and I am inclined to agree. Others filled me in about how Neuro went from a rhythm game bot to who she is now, and how Vettel eventually wants her to completely run the channel.
That will be interesting. The only downside of her entirely running the channel is we don't want to have a replacement for the whole reason that the Swarm fell in love with the whole channel, and that's the fact that Vettel's there as well.
Others made sure I recognized that Vettel wasn't alone, that there's a bunch of talented people helping him. There's Annie, who has designed the models and is considered to be the mother of the twins. Catania is the auntie that does the rigging, giving the twins their expressions. Queen PB mixes the music. Joker and Frog handle the videos and clips.
I like how a lot of VTubers have really cool models and things. I just asked for something that looked like one of my old pictures from the 70s. Knowing my luck though, this is like a church for some cult.
Alex writes the code that allows Neuro to play games. And this group isn't considered to be staff or the team. They're family. And as family, the Swarm takes them very seriously.
That is a very interesting picture.
And if some members of the Swarm had come in, guns blazing, picking apart the video, cyber stalking, trying to punish me for the things I got wrong, I would have assumed that Vettel had cultivated a rabid bunch of immature jerks and dismissed them as toxic.
And there are more than likely some toxic members, and I assume they will basically, it depends. So for instance, as new creators who are just finding Neuro for the first time, I bet you most of our stuff, his stuff, and my stuff is all going to be extremely positive. But if I continue to keep covering Neuro stuff, and if I don't get certain things right longer than people deem necessary, I guess, I bet you I can get hate, and I bet you it's pretty normal. What? That's still fine. That's gonna be a minority, I think, in this case. It's not all like hate the whole time. There are plenty of creators, I'm sure, out there that have rabid, absolute hate groups that just bash other creators. And it doesn't seem like the Swarm is like that, which is fantastic for me.
Everyone knows that no matter how positive things are, it's the negative comments that seem to stick. So if you really like your favorite creator, the best thing you can do when it comes to correcting mistakes is to present the facts in a kind way. That creates an invitation for dialogue rather than putting them on the defense. And because you were kind, you turned a mistake into an invitation that made me more curious, thereby expanding Vettel's reach. Your comments are very powerful. So I think it's worth considering that influence works.
I wish we could teach a lot more people this, that their comments really do hold power. And this could just be in anything in life, not just on the internet, not just as an anonymous figure in some random forum where you're owing someone their to be wrong about one little, math problem or any little thing that you can possibly come across. To be cooking for all that matters. Even just in real life, when you're talking to your family, when you're talking to your friends, when you're talking to random people on the street, your comments do have power. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people just totally ignore at this point, because they're like, I can just be online and I can be myself and I don't have to deal with anyone ever again.
3 ways. Of course, it goes from the content creator to the audience. That's the one we always talk about. But the second is the influence the audience has on the creator. You have the power to lift or crush a creator's spirit.
That's incredibly true. I don't know if I would have continued neuro videos if people wouldn't have been nice to me at the very beginning. I might not have continued these videos. And I'm very interested in the swarm and everyone inside of it. And it's very interesting to me. And I just don't know what I would have done. Maybe I would have just stopped YouTube altogether. And it was very, very good. I guess very nice of my the people who were helping me with this to suggest the neuro fandom as the first video I watched. Because I wanted to actually react to like Led Zeppelin and stuff and, Pink Floyd and all the other greats of my time. But then they're like, yeah, you can't do that. I'm like, why? And they're like, yeah, VTubers actually like you to react to their stuff. But most record companies don't. I'm like, oh, okay then. So.
And the third way is how the audience influences outsiders. For me, the experience was awesome. I think we all know the internet doesn't always work that way, but let me tell you that because of how Veto's community treated me, an outsider, it absolutely made me a NeuroSama fan.
I would consider myself an outsider to a degree. I think the big difference though is people will see me as a VTuber, even though I almost know nothing about VTubing. This is just, it's the easiest way for me to do this without having any other problems. And you guys don't need to worry about that. What's important here is I can do this, and I'm enjoying it, and that's all that really matters. But I think a lot of people will see my picture and I could think, oh, another VTuber, when I know almost nothing about the genre in entirety, aside from the fact that they seem to be live streamers, just with the cartoon kind of like character, which is great. I love this ability. It's such a great safety ability in every aspect of, how the internet works.
And a proud new baby member of the Swarm.
I'm definitely a baby Swarm member.
Hey there, just want to take a quick second and say thank you so much for letting me get over 1,000 subs and get partnered. That is a big deal. I said it already, but that's been a dream of mine. Thank you not only to the Swarm and all the ones who came in and watched, but also to all of the hundreds who came before that subscribed. Thank you. I'm going to try to put out great videos for you guys, and I really appreciate it. Also want to make sure I invite you to my streams. So if you want to come and chat, that's where I am, Monday to Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's what I'm doing. Come say hi. I'd love to see you there. Okay, bye.
You should absolutely check out his channel. I will probably never do live streams. I'm a bit afraid of doing that. I don't really think I can think on my feet as quickly as him. And maybe maybe I'll get more comfortable over time. But we will see. Anyway, I really enjoyed that video. He is an excellent creator again. Absolutely check out his stuff. We might check out his other videos because he has a lot of content creation type videos, or just Christian content creators, and that's very interesting for me. I may not enjoy, not everyone will enjoy that, but I will. So, anyway, have a good day, everyone.